Jordan Peterson, who to me has been one of the most influential people in my life, he said that he believes that character is the most important thing that a person can have, whether it be with trying to get a job or a friend or a partner in a relationship. Character is the most important thing. And the reason being is you have to be able to trust somebody. You have to be able to be capable of being honest back with them and expecting them to do what they say they're going to do. Qualities like this they're important for an employee, they're important for a boss, they're important for a significant other. And in this episode, we were really looking forward to, we actually kind of made this impromptu. We were actually going to talk about something else, and then we got started talking about this topic and realized this is really where we wanted to go with this episode, was talking about the importance of character. And we both, Jake and I both agree, this is the most important thing to long-term success.
Yes. And there's and when you have a good character, there's just so much different things that go along with having a good character, you know. And it just gets me fired up because I feel like a lot of, at least people in their 20s or like young adults that are like growing into being adults, it's something that people really lack.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing we were talking about is how people don't have character in relationships. And character, I feel like on an individual level, it is super important because the individuals are going to make up the whole as a state, you know, or as a country. And you can see like America is sort of beginning to deteriorate a little bit, I feel like. And it's because you look at the individuals, look at the character, look at divorce rates are going up, look at just the way people behave on social media, the way people don't have any ambition or drive, everything comes to them. Yeah. So their character has disintegrated because they don't need it they don't feel like they need it as much, I guess.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's hard, and I think the biggest place is just when you see the amount of people who aren't good caliber people for relationships, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And like I feel like with that, like it could tie into maybe like the prevalency of how the internet's just pulled up because you pull up your Instagram or something, you see like 4 pictures back to back with this hot ass girl with her ass out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
then it's like the same thing on Twitter, and then we have such easy access to like porn. And when you look at like these different like porn videos, they paint out like these like fantasies or whatever.
Yeah,
like cheating wife.
Yeah.
You know, gets raw dogged or
yeah,
like
yeah,
whatever
yeah,
the fuck it is. And I feel like people see that and then it starts to become their norm. Mm-hmm. And then so when they get into a relationship, they think, oh, well, everybody's doing it. I see it online all the time. Like, and it makes people feel like it's okay, when in reality, it's fucking not.
Yeah.
And that shit just fires me up, man.
Yeah, facts. I actually make a point, and Nelson Mandela, he always said that, because he was living in a country where he was the president as a black man, but the white people were the majority of the country, and they had just gotten out of this apartheid and racist society. Yeah. And he said he chose to go with the forgiveness route to people, and the reason was, he said that a perpetrator inside a society is just as much a victim as the victim, because they're just a victim of the society that plays to that working.
Right.
And I think about that with these girls on like Instagram that show their asses off and shit, because go look at a girl's Instagram that posts stuff like that. Look at a picture of, like, say, her and her friends, and then look at a picture of her with her ass out, and look which one has way more likes. Mm-hmm. You know, which one's getting more attention. They're just as much a victim of this as everybody who's getting cheated on and all this stuff, because they're like, well, this is what gets me the attention. This is what gets me paid. Like you were talking about that girl who has 100 people paying $20 a month to see her naked. She's making a living showing her ass off, and she's not a rare exception here, you know.
Facts.
And you know, that's the whole system is this is a disintegration of character. If the men had enough character to expect more of the women, then the women would follow suit. You know, if the men are going to keep going after women who are in relationships, mm-hmm. and part of that is probably the porn industry, but it's just also a lack of your own character. Exactly. We can't just blame it on the porn industry.
Yeah.
women are just going to follow suit. They're going to play the game. I think that the men, we've always been even in today's society, we're still the leading sex, right? Like we set the tone for what the women are going to do, because the women just want a good man, I think, at the end of the day as well. And so I actually make a point, if I see a girl putting up something that looks blatantly sexualized on Instagram, that I don't like it. I'll like anything else, but I don't want to keep encouraging them to do that. And plus, as a man, what is it saying? Like, if you're just like, because she knows what you're doing if you like the picture. Yeah. You're just like, oh, you're hot. That's basically, you're letting her know that you want to fuck, basically. It's just like weak, you know? It's like, so I make a point of not liking those pictures if I see them, and I'm just trying to like gradually change it. And I mean, I'm not even trying to preach here, because I literally was talking to a married woman at one point. So like, I had to learn this lesson, right? And like, it bit me in the ass. Obviously, like, that kind of person who's cheating on their husband is not a high character person.
Exactly,
I had to learn to have high character as well in this area of my life. And you know, that's when I figured all this out, started to decide I needed to be more of a high character person. I realized, like, I won't even like try to fuck with you if you've got a boyfriend. I really don't. I'm not interested in doing that as much. Even if I want to fuck you, like, I just expect more. And that goes into, when it comes to character, I think you got to qualify people strictly, and you got to have high expectations. You got to be clear on those, whether it's a friend, whether it's whatever. Like, I don't want to hang out with you if you don't have much going on in your life.
Exactly. I've made it like a strong point, especially this year. If you're not like benefiting me in any way to make me be a better person, then you're out of my life. Like, you're completely gone. And that's the same thing like when it goes with friendships and relationships too, because I mean, at least for me, like, if I want to get into a relationship with somebody, I want her to work on bettering me, and I'm definitely gonna, you know, try to better her too, and then we can just grow together. I feel like that's also a lost cause too.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like it, but then, like, I think if you set the standard that's what you're looking for, and you don't deviate from that standard, you'll find those girls. They are the rare exception, but the same way most guys don't have their shit together, most girls don't have their shit together either.
That's true.
And that's why I think it's getting clear from the get-go on what it is you'll tolerate, what you won't tolerate, and what you're looking for. If you're, like, for me now, I just have kind of decided that I feel like chasing girls and doing all this stuff is kind of like wastes a lot of your time unless you've got an end goal for it. And so for me, it's like I'm looking for someone who wants to ride with me and be like my like wifey type of chick. So I got to have a certain amount of expectations for them, and then laying those out, and then not differentiating from them. So if I see something that I feel like is a low character thing that I don't tolerate, like for me, I have a real low tolerance for the social media flaunting and the sexualizing. Yeah. So I have a very low tolerance for that. So if I see them doing stuff I find inappropriate, you got to have enough integrity, which is a character trait as well that's important, to back out of that situation and take care of yourself first. So getting clear and then upholding those standards. I think if the more and more people start to act with good character, more people will follow suit, right? You know, and it's just everyone's going to kind of do what they can get away with. You know, I think I've told you this before. I feel like an average just kind of is in decline. You know, when one person lowers the standard, everyone else feels like they can lower their standard. That's why like schools have these crazy curves on the tests now to pass everybody when they're not putting in the work. And well, if everybody's going to get a divorce, then I'll get a divorce. You know, the divorce rate keeps going up because everyone's getting them, and it's okay now. Whereas back in the day, that was taboo.
Right.
And I'm honestly a very libertarian person. I think people should have the right to do whatever they want as long as it's not going to hurt somebody else. But that doesn't mean you don't impose strict expectations on yourself as an individual. I just don't want someone else imposing it on you. I want you to impose it on yourself. So for me, I think everyone should be allowed to go get a divorce, but I have the expectation that I don't want that to happen. I don't think anybody wants it to happen, but just qualifying and looking for the high character person that's not going to be in that situation. And, you know, there's all other areas of that. You know, character also comes down to self-discipline. You know, nobody, if you don't have to work one day, nobody's making you do something. Well, are you going to be a bum, or are you going to go get your shit together and do what you want with your life?
Yeah. And that also like that could definitely tie away just from learning simple lessons every single day at the gym.
Yeah, yeah. You got to learn to the gym teaches you about building character because it's about some of the big qualities like we had written down here for character: discipline, integrity, things like that. I think you learn those through going to the gym every day because you got to learn to discipline yourself. Your day starts to get a little bit of structure when you start going to the gym because you're thinking maybe an hour to 2 hour block of your day now has to be planned, and you have to plan your day around that. That starts to build the discipline going in there on a daily basis. Discipline, I think, leads to some of the other ones because I think as you start working on, say, your discipline, you're going to start to value the other character traits more because you have a higher expectation for yourself. So if you're disciplined, like let's say you're disciplined and you got something you're pursuing, maybe a business or something like that, then you're disciplined about it, and then you're working with someone who's not like disciplined about it, you're going to start to notice the other character traits that you're looking for, like, well, this person's not honest with me, or this person didn't show integrity, because you start noticing those things because you're starting to hold yourself to a higher standard, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, I just drew a blank. But no, that's true.
You're good.
And like also going back to like the gym thing, when you build the character, you when you're in the gym, you have a lot of like trial and error. So if like if you apply that to your daily life, if you start a business or whatever, you fuck up once, you're not gonna be like, oh fuck no man, fuck this isn't cut out for me. Like you gotta learn how to get over obstacles. Yeah.
That's a big character thing, too. I don't even know exactly how to describe that. Maybe perseverance or persistence or something like that. But being able to, when something doesn't work, is your reaction to throw up your hands and blame God or the world? Yeah. Or is your reaction, I'm going to figure this out, you know? And I think
it says a lot about a person when they say that they're going to figure it out, too. Yeah. And then they actually do.
Yeah. And it's so strange because it is honestly sort of the natural reaction to blame something outside of yourself. I guess it's just we don't want to have to admit we screwed up. But typically if you do a self-analysis, you'll figure out you made a mistake that put you in the position you're in.
And, like, I don't want to sound like a god or anything.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like, at least with that trait, like, I've always been, like, really good on, like, honing in where I've messed up. Like, I don't think it's my first instinct to blame something else when something bad happens.
Think so?
Yeah. At least for me. Like, I don't know, maybe it was just something that I was blessed with.
Yeah.
But, like, I've always noticed that, like in my social circles or whatever, like, I've always been, like, the one, like, oddity that's like, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, like I'm trying to correct it.
Yeah.
And I've noticed, like, that's helped me a lot in my life, too.
Yeah.
So, like,
I certainly have trained that muscle now to where I do look and, like, all right, what could I do differently? Like, when the virus situation happened, I didn't think, like, man, I just got screwed over by this virus and I can't make as much money or all these different things. I thought, well, this is my fault because I put myself in a vulnerable position. I didn't have enough income coming in. I wasn't prepared for something bad to happen. And, you know, I think we talked about this in episode 1, but when you do that, you don't become a slave to something. You get to make the decision for yourself, and that's part of
such an important thing.
It is very important. Yeah. I feel like why don't we could start talking about these different traits on here. Yeah, well, the first one we had down was loyalty. Loyalty being an important part of character. You got to be able to count on people and be loyal yourself. You know, I think some people, I might be honestly too far on the extreme of loyalty. Like, I'll ride with someone, like, maybe when it's time to just, you know, you're not a benefit in my life anymore and I need to let you go. And I can kind of struggle with that, honestly, on the opposite side. But generally speaking, people are very much lacking in loyalty, I think.
So pathetic.
Yeah, it's bad. And I think it comes down to your own. If you're not good with yourself, you can't be loyal because you're going to be looking out for yourself, right? So if you feel like if a friend leaves the room and, like, you start bad-mouthing him, that says more about you than about him. Because clearly you don't feel good about you. So you got to knock somebody else down to try and go up.
Exactly. Loyalty is probably like, I would say it's like top 2 and like when it comes to character. That's like the number one thing that I look for in people.
Yeah. And loyalty is a big one to vet in a relationship. And this is one that I think, because I've got a list of criteria that I have now for looking for the kind of person I want to be in a relationship with, and loyalty's obviously on the list. Everybody looks for it, but how do you pick out if somebody's loyal or not? You got to watch their actions rather than their words. For character, everybody talks like they've got a great character, and every girl will tell you they're this loyal kind of ride or die chick, but then just look at their situation. Like I mean, you could literally be talking to some like skank hoe who you know for a fact has had who has probably got like a 20 or 30 body count, and she will talk to you about how she's ride or die, keeps it real with her man, and all this stuff. They'll also, so you gotta learn, not even just in women, but in everybody. Most people are lacking significantly in self-awareness, so they might not even know that they're bullshitting themselves. But
that's true.
Watch actions. And so if you watch people doing things that are disloyal, well, now you know. Like I had a situation. I was talking to this girl, and she talked about how I'm honest and all this type of stuff, and I think it's really important to be honest with people. I was like, yeah, I agree on all this stuff, and I would watch her lie to her friends to like get out of a situation she didn't want to be in and stuff like that. And a lot of people will do that. They'll be like, hey, do you want to do this? It's like, no, I got to go do this other thing, but they're lying. They don't actually have to do it. But I remember thinking when she did that, I was like, if you're willing to lie to them, you're not lying to me right now, but once I'm not your top priority, you'll start doing the same thing to me.
It's exactly how it was with this girl that I was talking to. I saw a lot of red flags.
Yeah.
To be honest, but I was like, keep it a buck. I was thinking with my dick, and I remember I think I was calling her, and I was like, whenever you get a chance, like, let's just talk for a little bit, because like I wanted to break it off.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh well, I'm busy doing this, doing that, but I was gonna go to her place because I left some shit over there. And I was like, all right, well, like, just leave all my shit on the patio, and then we can just talk whenever. She said, okay. And so I went over there, I got all my shit, and when I was walking down, she was, like, driving by just to see, like, if I was still there. And then she acted like she didn't see me and just drove off.
Wait, so were y'all not dating anymore or talking or something? So she didn't want to see you?
Yeah, like, we were just kind of, like, falling off. But, like, at least for me, like, I wanna have that, like, clarity on a situation or relationship, like, where we stand, you know?
Yeah.
That's, like, something that's, like, just big to me, I guess.
Yeah.
And, like, she just, like, pulled off. And so I called her, I was like, you just gonna pull off on me like that? And she was like, I was with my mom. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Bullshitting,
and
dude.
straight up, dude, right in that moment, that was what I knew. I was like, God damn. I was like, man, fuck this shit, dude. Like, you just cannot... If you see a lot of red flags, like, you really got to stop it in the tracks there, because you'll just dig yourself in a hole.
Yeah.
And, like, I was, like, having, like, this false fucking hope about shit.
Yeah, facts.
And, like, I learned a lot of lessons from that one, so now I know, like, just keep it a buck.
I think it's...
Be real.
Yeah. I think it's really easy for guys to make their woman or make the girl they want out to be this perfect thing.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh man, he's like, I mean, I'm doing this literally with a married woman. I'm convincing myself this is some ride or die loyal ass chick. I'm like, I'm not even her first affair.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. It's like nuts. And like, I mean, this was in my total, like, I would keep it, but I had turned into a total simp on this one. Yeah. This was bad, but like, this was one of my first experiences with relationships, and I had to figure that shit out. But
dude.
You gotta watch actions, and you gotta keep your mind clear to pay attention to people's character, because it's just so easy to fool yourself or to rationalize and justify people's behavior.
Exactly. In that moment, like, for me, like, that was all I needed to know, like, about the type of person that she was. Yeah. And then I haven't associated with myself with that type of shit ever since. So.
Yeah. And that, we started with loyalty, but then we kind of got into honesty a lot on that one too. And honesty is another huge characteristic. I've dealt with multiple people that I was considered very good friends who were honestly just straight up pathological liars, it seemed like. And that's a major red flag. Like, even if it's on like a simple type of thing, like, you just can't, if someone lies to you about something, they'll lie to you about a lot of things. And and the thing about lying is, you only lie about things you're ashamed about. So first of all, stop doing things you're ashamed about, And second of all,
yeah, like,
it's straight up. It's like, oh no, I didn't cheat on you or something like that. Well, yeah, you know why you're lying? Because you know you shouldn't have done it.
Exactly.
So like, stop doing shit you shouldn't do. It's like that simple.
I don't get it.
It's that simple. Stop doing stuff you shouldn't be doing. You know it's wrong and you're doing it anyways. And if it's something where you need to own up to it because you know you made a mistake, well then own up to it. People will respect that.
Exactly. I respect the fuck out of that.
If you can own up to me about what you did wrong, like I'm cool with that.
Yeah, bro. Like if a girl cheated on me and like I knew she was lying about it, like I'm already thinking shitty of you anyways.
Yeah.
Like that's just gonna flush you down the toilet. But like if you like own up to me, like I'll
still
forgive
out.
you. Like like I'm still out, but like respect for telling me straight up. Like
yeah, it's a little bit. I ain't gonna put it on YouTube like that one dude. I saw, my God, this one man exposing my girl for cheating on me. You just look like a vag, bro. You can't admit to it. Like, that's what I'm saying. You cannot, you can tell people, like, yeah, I got cheated or whatever, but, like, you gotta act like you don't give a fuck. And if you go out of your way to put that shit on YouTube or put it anywhere, man, you clearly give a fuck and you look like a pussy.
And, like, you probably will give a fuck, but, like, you just gotta deal with that yourself.
It's gonna be hard, man. Discipline. Rock solid. I don't give a fuck.
But you do have to just deal with it yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do what you need to do. Go see a therapist. Do all that. But fuck. I don't respect people that throw that type of shit on the internet.
Yeah, facts.
Intention.
Yeah, that I think is part of character. It's probably not, but for me at least, when character comes out, if you're seeking attention and sympathy, I'm already throwing red flags up, bro. Like,
I'm out.
Unless your mom died, I don't need to give you sympathy. And even then, suck it up. No, I'm kidding.
That's crazy, bro. Because like when you look at people like posting deaths, like about their family and stuff, like they'll always post that shit on IG.
Yeah, they want
all that. Like
I don't know what to think of that.
Yeah, like I try to put myself in their shoes and like, okay, if my mom died, like I don't even know if I would post anything on fucking social media. Like
I feel like at this point it's like you're supposed to, or you didn't care or something. Like I don't know. It's weird.
Have you seen
Jay-Z? What did you say?
I said, have you seen the photos of like people that are like holding their hand while they're in the hospital bed, and then they take photos of that shit?
Oh, yeah.
That shit just pisses me off.
Yeah, attention seekers. Jay-Z had a line on this. He just had this album with Jay Electronica, and he had a line on it. I'm probably botching the line, but basically he was like, please do not post... He said, please do not post pictures on the internet when I die and act like we were closer than we were.
Yeah, facts, dude. Like, that's one thing I ask for when I'm out.
Yeah, like, just don't post pictures like we were close.
It's fucking whack as fuck.
Posting some shit up from 2015. Like, man, that's my brother.
Facts. You just want
100 likes.
It was just like a mutual friend.
Yeah.
That was just like in the group.
Yeah. Facts. Oh my God. But yeah, a big part of character, a man needs to keep his word and his balls. And those are the first two things a guy throws down the toilet. It's nuts. It's like, fuck my balls, fuck my word. Like, I'm going to be a pussy, and I'm going to lie about it. Like, that's every dude's reaction. It's like, you can't be doing that, guys.
That shit's fucking...
It's so true, though, because at the end of the day, like, especially when you're starting out in the world, like, maybe once you've got money and all these other things, maybe you have a little more than your word and your balls. But at the very beginning, all you've got is people need to be able to count on you, and they need to know that you stand up for yourself and respect yourself. And that's part of being the balls. If you get walked all over, a lot of guys have this thing. It's actually called nice guy syndrome. There's a whole book on it. I read it. It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy. I forgot who it's by. It's by a psychologist. But he was talking about the fact that a lot of men grow up with fathers who aren't either present or aren't very good fathers, and as a result they end up getting this like nice guy complex where they haven't really integrated like the male attributes of their personality. Like aggression's a big one. Like a lot of like dudes used to kind of confront each other straight up about their issues, and now it's like they act like women with the shit talk and the drama and all this stuff. And you know, it's not, I don't consider it a high character thing for you to be nice. You know, kindness is a little bit different. Like, you want to treat people kindly, for sure. Being nice is just like, that's almost like it's the equivalent of like small talk, you know? It's like, I'm nice to you just because I want to get along with you. It's more of a selfish thing. And you're not showing character by pretending to be nice when you're just being a doormat and getting walked all over. The philosopher Nietzsche, I love, this is one I'm not that big on him, but honestly I really like this line he said. he said that most people aren't moral, they're just cowards, and they mask their cowardice and morality. So the fact that like somebody stood up, like somebody like intimidated you and you backed down and they're like, oh, I'm just a nice guy, I don't like conflict. No, you're just a pussy, you didn't want to fight. That's the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Every time that happened to me when I was a kid, I used to really struggle with my aggression, and like somebody would like buck up to me or something, like, no man, like back off. I'm like, man, it's just like, I mean, it's stupid, why are we gonna fight over this? Stupid. Nah, I was just being a pussy. If I could have kicked his ass, I would have.
I guess, but also in a sense, I guess you just gotta look at like the situation.
Yeah. Well,
like,
it internally.
You really gotta like pick your battles.
Yeah,
though,
you know it internally.
That's facts. You do know it internally.
You know when you're rationalizing the fact that you looked like a bitch, or when you really were like if I go out here and I'm like a black belt in fucking jujitsu, and somebody tries to step up to me, and I'm just like not fighting you, but I know perfectly well I could kick your ass. That's high level character.
For sure.
Then like mid level characters like let's do this and start swinging. Low character move is like I'm just a pussy and I couldn't do anything with this situation. Yeah. That's sort of a part of a man's character. You gotta know how to fight. I think you need to know something. You just can't be like, because what you gonna do, like a dude like slaps your girl in the ass. You gotta step up. You gotta step up. You gonna talk shit on Twitter?
Yeah. Post a YouTube video?
Yeah, complain about it? Yeah.
No, that's true.
I think that's sort of a part of men need to know how to defend the people they care about. That's a character trait.
Yeah, dude, and like you look at it just like a simple man's responsibility in this world is to provide and protect for their family.
Yeah.
So you might be a good provider, but fucking one day someone runs up in your house.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah,
like,
facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there's plenty of like providers, like
anybody can be a provider, dude.
Yeah, protector's like the more manly attribute of that. I feel like.
And like look back like in the tribes where the hunters would go gather their food from them, like they're not backing down.
Yeah,
like,
hell no, they're kings,
fuck with their
bro.
tribe, dog, you're toast, bro. You're getting a spear in the chest.
Facts, dude. Yeah, I think we've talked some about discipline already, but self-discipline is a character trait. It's easy. A lot of people will come off like they're disciplined because maybe they like get up for work in the morning, but you're only getting up for work because you get fired if you didn't.
Exactly.
What are you doing when you don't have to get up, or what are you doing when there's not a gun to your head to be disciplined? Are you being disciplined? And this is not even as much for other people's sake, but for your own sake. If you're not self-disciplined, you're going to watch your life kind of atrophy away.
Exactly. And I feel like this is something that you told me something one day. We were talking about like just like trying to figure out how to go to the gym, and I was like, oh man, I got work. And then I forgot like how the conversation pivoted. But you said something about how like you're treating your work's time more important than your own time.
Yeah.
And then you said that, and I was like, yo, fuck.
Yeah.
And then I look at everybody around me, and that's what everybody in today's society do, is they treat their work time way more important than their own time.
Yeah. What does it say about a person if, like, let's say you work, like, for $10 an hour somewhere. What does it say about them if they're willing to get up and go do that job and show up on time to that, but when it comes to following their dreams or committing to taking care of themselves and stuff like that, they can't even get the ball rolling? You claim to hate this $10 an hour job, but your discipline shows you're more concerned with that than you are with everything you want in your life. And that's crazy to me, but people do that shit.
That shit is nuts. It's probably just a shitload of self-doubt, like, nah, I can't do it. There's probably like a lot of factors relying like mentally for them, I guess.
Yeah, probably. What else we got here? Integrity. Integrity is sort of a combination of all of these things, but we were talking about, I feel like integrity, you could think of it in a relationship. I think it's I don't know if it's integrity is the word, but a low move if, say, you're in a relationship and you kind of like set up your next option before you get out of the relationship. So you're pretty much stringing the other person along to switch so that you don't have to feel any pain. Yeah. And then you fuck them over. Girls, I think, are more common for doing this, but I know guys do it too. Guys are more like thinking with their dick for it straight up. They just get horny one day and dump their bitch.
Yeah.
I saw Antonio Brown did this shit, man. That dude, like, talk about someone with no character. But, like, this dude literally, I just checked his Instagram for the first time in a while, like a couple months ago, and I was like, I swear this is not his wife that he's posting all these pictures with. He kicked his mom. He just threw his wife out with the kids and got this like Instagram thought, and then he's in jail. I guarantee the Instagram thought's gone.
Exactly.
The chick who was riding with him when he was broke, like she's fuck him, you know, like that's so crazy, you know, like that's just a lowbrow move, like, and look where that gets you. You wind up like Antonio Brown in jail, like it's just stupid, man. Like that ego ran away on him.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
he really spiraled, dog.
Yeah,
he fucking spiraled out of control.
And I was riding with him when he was
you were riding
AB. I thought I was like, hell yeah, AB said fuck the system, and then I was like, nah, man, you went too far. No. Because once he got thrown out of New England, he was raping women. I was like, all right, I'm out on that one. Because I remember, like, you know, I swear, like, not a lot, but I mean, it's a fact that some of these women are lying about their rape charges. I don't think it's a lot of them, but some of them are. But I looked at this girl that accused him, and I was like, oh, man, he did that shit.
Word?
Like, you could just tell on her face she was not lying. I was like, that chick looks like she's honest. I was like, damn, man.
That's crazy.
I was riding with you, bro.
I can't believe that, like, some girls would even do that, though. Like,
what?
Lie.
Yeah.
Talking
Do
about
you know
rape.
who?
You want to talk about character, dog.
Oh,
what
yeah.
the fuck does that say about them?
Yeah. You
That's
know
so
who Brian Billick is?
Mm-mm.
Dude, there's a movie that came out about him recently. He was a USC football commit in like the early 2000s, and this girl falsely accused him of rape. He went to jail for like 3 years and like got himself proven innocent for this shit because she basically ended up confessing on camera by accident. What an idiot, first of all, but he gets out of here. And so like this woman literally was like going to take this man's life from him. He was going to spend his life in jail for rape that he did not commit. But now he got out. He's in a better spot now. He's kind of like this inspirational figure, and he did make it to the NFL now.
Oh, that's
dope. So
that's
he
dope
rose up. He
that's
rose up,
dope
man.
As fuck.
Yeah, it was hard, but yeah, like that's to say, like some women do lie. I don't think it's every time, but certainly not.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
It does happen, but. Yeah,
I think there should be repercussions for the women that do.
Oh, I think she did. I think the state was gonna sue her, and she's in civil court for it. Like, because she sued the state for allowing it to happen because she claimed it happened on school property. So they gave her like $2 million settlement for it. The state did, and they were like, "Give us that shit back." Yeah, but she'd blown the whole thing.
Oh my lord!
Out of money. It's crazy.
Louis V bags and fucking toenail polish.
Yeah, probably. What else we got? Leadership. Yeah.
Leadership, yeah, for sure.
Leadership is a character trait. I think I think everybody has the leader ability to step up in a moment and set the example. I don't think everybody is born a leader, like the natural, like take charge decision maker, put the group first. Like, I don't think everybody is that person. I think a lot of people do prefer to just follow the leader and do what they're told, do their job. But leadership from the perspective of, you know, doing the right thing whenever, like if you're in a peer pressure situation, or do you follow what the crowd says, or do you have enough confidence, like you're self-directed enough to be like, I'm gonna do what's right, I'm gonna do what's different, and then in that moment you lead, whether or not you're naturally a leader. There's tons of people who make a stand for something and end up being a leader for doing so without having to be like, oh, I'm like a CEO type of leadership.
Fact.
Like, yeah,
that's true. But when I saw the leadership, or whenever I said it when we were taking these notes, I just figured being a leader just like in your own life.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, taking
self-directed.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like some people like in group settings are probably not like the leader type or whatever. Mm-hmm. But when it comes down to it, like we all can be leaders. We all should be leaders. Mm-hmm. We need to lead where we want to go.
Yeah. Self-directed, then that's
Mm-hmm.
that's big, because you gotta know it's phenomenal the amount of people who simply have no idea where they're going.
Yeah.
And that's great. It's like, I think Napoleon Hill, the Think and Grow Rich author, I think he estimated about 98% of people have absolutely no clue where they're going.
Yeah, bro.
That's nuts.
It's fucking ridiculous.
If you just set a little bit of a plan, you'll do better than most people. This stuff is not that complicated, honestly. Everybody overcomplicates it, but just
That's facts.
set a plan, do what you can in the meantime to get there. Responsibility. This comes down a little bit to all of these kind of overlap a little bit, but responsibility, taking responsibility for your own life, and then anything you can take responsibility for. The irony of responsibility is that it gives you a lot of the meaning in your life, the things you're responsible for. A lot of people talk about this when they have a kid, that suddenly they're not the top priority, the kid's the top priority, and gives them something to have a meaning in their life. Or even like a puppy. I've heard people talk about this with puppies. Like, I got a puppy, and all of a sudden I realized, I was responsible for a life now, and it gives you something in your life, and not just in those situations, but I'm responsible for my income, I'm responsible for my health, I'm responsible for the well-being of my family, all these different things. That's not only just a character trait that you need to have, but it literally is the way that you have a good life. I think is taking responsibility for things.
Mm-hmm.
People want to shrug it, or like, I don't want to have responsibility for this, because with it comes expectations and duty, but in that they're robbing themselves of the opportunity to have a good life.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. You just took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So I ain't saying shit.
Yeah. Pleasure, people... If you chase, I figured this out, I think, earlier than a lot of people, is when I used to smoke and all this, because I was kind of the first one to cut out all that crap, was like the smoking and the drinking and the playing video games and just basically treating your days like they're worthless. I just got the underlying feeling, I was like, this is just completely meaningless, and I get nothing out of it. Like, I feel like nothing good out of this, and even it's not even really fun. I might just be more prone to enjoy hard work, like grinding and improving on stuff than most people, but it's I just got no fun out of these things because there's no meaning, and there's nothing like you're working on improving. You're not taking responsibility for anything. And once you start to do that, your life, it's not easy, but you don't really want easy. You want fun and challenging, and you get that if you take responsibility.
For sure. Because I kind of got caught up in the drinking and smoking thing too, and
everybody does.
Yeah, and my biggest thing was just I don't know. I felt like I had a lot of pressure on me all the time, so I just wanted to let loose. But then letting loose turned into an everyday fucking thing, and then I finally just had to take responsibility. I looked myself in the mirror, and I was just unhappy with every aspect where I was going.
Yeah.
And so that's when I just decided to cut people off, and it was hard, but at the end of the day, you just got to do what you got to do for yourself.
Yeah.
Because when your back is against the wall, you need someone to have your back. You're not gonna have your back more than yourself. Does that make sense? I probably worded that like shit.
I got what you're saying though. It's being selfish it gets a bad rap. I think we should all admit that everybody's selfish. Yeah. And every action you take is selfish. If you go, even something you don't want to do, think about the amount of times in your life that you've done something you didn't want to do, but you did it because you knew not doing it would make you feel worse. So maybe you go into a funeral, I don't want to go to a funeral, but I'm gonna feel bad. I'm gonna feel like a dick if I don't go to my friend's mother's funeral or something like that, So you go to the funeral, but in the end you still did it for the result it was gonna have on you. It might be a selfless act, but you still did it because you knew the selfless act would make you feel better than not doing it. And if we all admit that to ourselves, you can start to get a better understanding of how to live your life. Be a little bit selfish sometimes, with your time, with just situations like that. You got to be selfish with you and what you're going to tolerate in your life.
Yeah, for sure. With your time, with the people you spend your time with.
Yeah.
That was funny when you were thinking of that example, because I grew up in the church, and it was funny because you hear all these people talking about paying their tithing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Paying for the church. And then I was always told, you want to pay your tithing just to pay your tithing, and you get blessings from it, but you just shouldn't pay just for the fact that you're going to get a blessing out of it. And I was like, okay, well, that was kind of like contradicting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that kind of just never really made sense to me. Like,
yeah, I did that sometimes too, because like sometimes in the Bible, like one of the things in the Bible that I objectively just don't think makes sense is the like saving sex for marriage thing. I think that made sense back when people got married a lot younger, and also women couldn't take care of themselves. And, like, it was just a different time. But like I think about it, I'm like, this objectively doesn't make sense, because people are just gonna get married to have sex, you know, and like that's not gonna work. Yeah. Like they're just gonna be horny. So like I've always objectively felt like that, but then sometimes I'm like, well, maybe if I listen to this, maybe I'll get like some blessing out of it or something from God or something like that. And I'm like, I would literally only be doing this to try and manipulate the situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that's,
yeah, dude.
I wouldn't be doing it because I actually felt it.
Yeah.
That's the facts. What we got here? Courage. That was the next one we had down here. That comes down to your balls as well, but do it like you're gonna be in a lot of situations where you need courage in your life, because I feel like I used to probably not have a lot of courage, and now it's kind of crazy how I'll notice sometimes, be like, man, I do a lot of stuff that most people would not have the balls to do, and I don't even really notice I'm doing it now. But that comes with the courage, is you just got to step out at first and you'll get used to it. But you're going to be in a lot of positions where you have to have courage, or you're going to, like, I think this is one of those ones, if you don't have courage, you're going to hate yourself. Like, honestly, because you're going to fail to do the things you want to do with your life, and you're always going to know you think what ifs of, like, I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like taking the leap. Like,
yeah, and also when it comes to character and being able to like count on somebody, if they don't have courage, like what are they gonna do when shit hits the fan? You know, like imagine if you were like in combat and you're in a firefight and one of the people in your squad is just zero balls. Dude's just a total pussy. Like, how are you gonna rely on this man?
Exactly.
You know? Do you think he's gonna do something to save your life? No, he's not going to. You gotta have courage. And even in moments where your life can be on the line and things like that, they always talk about, and it's so true, like, I would rather die a hero than live a coward, you know? Like, you can't, like, some things are worth dying for, like, because you can't live with yourself if you let your own fear, like, ruin a situation.
Yeah, have you seen the movie, what's it called? We watched it in junior year. It was about a war, and the special unit was sent to go get somebody that was on the ground fighting. And then when they went there, he said he wasn't going to leave his unit, so they all started fighting against never mind. Fuck it.
I don't remember.
Anyways, my point was gonna be there was a news reporter that was with them, and then he was walking up a staircase, and then both the armies, it was like a one-on-one fight, and then he was screaming for help, but he like bitched out on the staircase and started crying.
Really?
And then he just fucking died. Yeah.
I kind of sometimes lately, especially, I seem like I'm always watching stuff related with combat, and I feel like I'm always sitting here feeling like, I'm like, man, I kind of want to go in combat really badly, like feeling like I've neglected something if I haven't done that, just because I want to see what'll happen, like, in the moment when you're getting shot at. What are you made of?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the moment.
You have no idea until you're in that situation.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking about it from a like stepped back perspective here. I'm still thinking like, man, like you literally could get captured and tortured. That would suck. I would much rather die, because I always get these fears of them just fucking with my genitals.
Yeah. Oh, like, my God.
It just freaks me out, dude. Like, you get tortured and like that. Oh, God.
That fucking sucked, bro.
That's courage, man.
I watched American Assassin, and they were like torturing him, and they got pliers, and they were ripping his fingernails off, like each finger, and that's like, ever since I saw that, I was like, yo, like, fuck, just kill me, dog. I'm not gonna go through that shit.
Yeah, facts, dude. And they used to like, who really a good example of this is John McCain. Did you know about him when he was in Vietnam?
And didn't he get captured?
He got captured. He was in a prisoner of war camp, and his father, I don't know if he was an admiral or something, he was a very high up ranking officer in the military. And so they were going to like let him go, let him out of the prison, and like, I can't remember exactly their logic. What was it, the Vietnamese, I think it was. I don't remember what their logic was, but they were going to let him go. And then he told them he wasn't going to leave with the other men. Like, he could have gotten himself out of torture and prison, but he said, I'm going to stay with the other men who don't have this opportunity. And so he was in this prison for 7 years, and they broke his back, like all this stuff. I'm like, that's fucking balls. That's courage. That's character.
Yeah,
that's fucking character.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The only thing I know from that story was when Trump, he was like doing a rally or whatever.
He said that I like people who weren't captured. Yeah. He called him out on that. Low key though, like, I mean, it was funny when he said that, but like low key, McCain went through that shit. He was a dog for that one. Yeah, right. Because I think I'd be out. I'd be dipping on that one.
Me too.
Damn. I don't know though. In that moment, you know the pressure, how bad you'd feel. Like you're like flying out, looking back at the camp. You're like, oh fuck! It's like 1,000 other dudes just getting tortured. You just had the right last name, so you're out. I'd feel so bad. That sucks to suck, man. Like, God, yeah, that's tough, dude. Yo, that really makes me think just how lucky we are. The coronavirus is all we had to deal with, dude. If I'd be so pissed if I was getting tortured.
Yeah,
Keefe, I'd be so mad. Like, what is this?
Like, I'd be so pissed the fuck off. I just look up at God and be like, this is what you had in store for me, King?
Facts.
This is it?
Yeah. I'd be so mad.
I go out butt naked, hanging from a rope with just cuts all over my body. Like,
oh, God, yeah. We hit the genetic lottery.
You went through this. I'm not supposed to go through it.
Yeah, facts. I thought you got crucified for a reason, man. Yeah, it's facts though. Dude, yeah, we hit the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
We're in the richest nation ever.
For sure. I think that is insane.
We really got so lucky. Oh my God. What's the last one we had down here? Ambition. Ambition is that's an important character trait. That's more of a personal one than otherwise. It's actually Robert Greene in the 48 Laws of Power. He says that he's talking about ambitious people, and he says that you have to really butter up kind of your superior because you don't want them to see your ambition. So a lot of times in lower level people, ambition is not a great thing to have because if they're ambitious, they're going to try and put the knife in your back. You know, they're going to try and take your spot. But personally, having ambition is an important character trait because if you don't, you just wind up mediocre. And if you have the ambition to go get the things you want, even if they're not, like, I'm not saying you have to want to be Jeff Bezos or LeBron James, but just the ambition to go get what you want out of life is an important character trait to your happiness.
And I feel like women, not girls, women look for that in men.
Oh yeah.
When they want to find a man or whatever it is. I feel like ambition's a real big trait.
I would say
that is all aspects of your life.
Yeah, I would say that is one of the most important things they look for. Confident, ambitious men.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah.
And that's the kind of chick you want to end up with, too, who looks for that type of stuff, because they're the ones
that
going to fire you up. Yeah. Ride to the top with them.
Yeah, like, she sees you slacking, and she's like, yo, get the fuck up. Like, let's do this shit.
Yeah.
Like, all right, babe.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Facts. God. And I think another thing to talk about with character is it's built through commitment. Like, you can train these muscles to do these things, but a lot of times you're going to get put in situations, and you're going to have your conscience telling you what you should do, but you're really not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
Like I choose to believe that this is this was kind of God showing me the importance of having good characters. I was at this my dad had finally gotten me, he's been asking for forever, but he finally got me to go to this Bible study with him. I was like, all right. So I went to this Bible study, and the dude sitting next to me, I was talking to him, and then he got up. And I got up, and he had, like, his iPad and his Bible sitting on the ground. So I turned around and step on it. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I thought I'd, like, ruined his iPad.
Yeah.
And so I look over and, like, I was, like, putting his stuff back. I looked on the corner. It looked like it had cracked. I was like, you're kidding me, right? Like, this thing cracked. And so I got up, and I went and put up through my trash away. I sat back down. I was like, what should I do? I was like, I was figuring, I was like, if he says something or sees it, I'll be like, oh, I guess I did that, or kind of thing. And then I heard someone across the table saying something in a different conversation, just saying something like, if you have faith in God, you'll have faith that in the hard situations, He is meant for something good, or something like that. And I was like, and something about it made me say, like, all right, well, I need to just have integrity and be like, I think I broke your iPad. So when he sat back down, I told him, and I was like, yeah, I think I accidentally stepped on your iPad. So if it's like cracked or whatever, I'll replace it. And he was like, oh, okay. And so he looks down there and he pulls it up, and the whole screen's completely cracked. And I'm like, man, you're kidding me. But he's like, but then he's like, oh, it's just a screen protector. Pulls off this little ass piece of like plastic film. The iPad is completely fine, but the screen protector was completely cracked. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, and so now the thing about that is, because I was able to show, I did something that was going to put me in a bad spot. I really did not want to pay for this dude's iPad.
Yeah.
Like, because of that, he now knows that, like, I'm willing to own up when I did a mistake. Yeah, so, like, that's an opportunity of character, but those are difficult situations. But you never know how those things are going to play out in the long run, because maybe now, like, maybe I wind up into doing business or something with this guy. He knows he can trust me.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, it's really easy in the short term to do the dishonest thing or the thing that lacks character, but it has just long-term repercussion. It's better to do the right thing in the moment, I think.
For sure.
You know?
Karma's a bitch, man.
Yeah, facts.
Come up and snap you right in the ass.
Facts. Well, I feel like that's a good place to wrap this one up at.
For sure.
Well, that's episode 2 of the Self Mastery Podcast. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next Saturday.